Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly general reading. So this one is from February 4th to February 10th. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Very much appreciate all your time and watching my videos. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for supporting me. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel, support my work. And I also have daily inspirational posts on my Instagram too. So if you'd like to, you can follow me on @tiny.langshaw. Post a lot on there, a lot of quotes and just little inspirational things that I like to put out for people as well, just to help them with their day. So now to your reading, I'll just introduce the cards. So we have 8 of air, and the clarifier is patience, which is the temperance card in the traditional tarot deck. Then we have another major arcana, which is ego, and the clarifier there, and I think we may have had this last week, spiritual union, or we may have had it a few weeks before, but that card's been popping up a lot. And then we have another major arcana, the magician, the number 1. Clarify movement, decisions, and choices. And if you notice then on those two clarifiers, they're both 2s. Then we have ace of water. And we have the number 12, sacrifice. And in the traditional tarot deck, that one is, give me a second, the hanged man. So I feel like that's the first time we've gotten that one. So this reading is very, very interesting. And if you watched my video last week, this is an acceleration on from there, because whatever we were facing last week, because I felt it was very personal, very internal, I feel like we're still in that energy, because if you are following a lot of tarots online, especially weeklies, even though this is like the weekly forecast, it can last a few weeks. So this is signifying here that we're still in that energy, as I can still see here with the 8 of air, that there is an illusionment of entrapment with a situation, and this could be your external world, but I'm feeling a lot more that it's internal. When I was actually looking at these cards and I was, gauging on what my guides want me to tell you, I'm feeling a lot of anxiety in my chest. And I was just like, this is really interesting. So I feel like there's a situation in your life right now, I'm actually getting really warm right now too, that's causing you some high anxiety. But the thing is, you're putting this on yourself, because we've got the hanged man here, which is, it says that there's a situation that you need to, let go of, something you need to sacrifice, or just realizing you can't control everything. But I'm feeling like with this, actually, with the hanged man, it's to do with your perception on a situation. And you need to flip it, because on the traditional tarot card you can see the man's hanging upside down because he's looking at the situation backwards. And I feel like that's what's happening here, and that's why I've got the patience card as well, because with the patience and the temperance, it's a lot to do with, calm, collected, looking at decisions, from a bird's eye view, and really making decisions from a centered place where you can actually make the right choice and the next right move for yourself. But the thing is, if you're like I was feeling, it's actually calmed down now, which is thank you. Sometimes the guides like to give you that energy. Oh wait, it's getting hot again. Sorry. So with this, when you're making decisions and you're feeling the anxiety in your chest and you're feeling like you're under the pump to make a decision, and half the time you're putting the timeline on yourself too, when you're putting that kind of pressure on yourself, you're making a knee-jerk decision and like a knee-jerk reaction to it. You're making like a split-second decision and, well, hope that's right. And this is what it's calling for here. This is really looking at yourself internally and looking what's happening to you, because I feel like with this, I think it isn't actually an external situation, but I feel like it's the way you're looking at it is what's the problem. You're looking at the negative side. You're looking at it backwards. You're not looking at the benefits, what could happen. You could be going through almost like a tower moment, which is like a disruption in your life, and you're looking at like, oh my God, this is all terrible, but you're not seeing the gold within the tower that they're actually trying to give you, because you're just looking at all the negative things that are happening. And we are in ego at the moment with it. We're in a fear-based mindset, and we are not making calm, cool, collected decisions. We're feeling very anxious, and it's just the way we're looking at it. And it's amazing the way your mind works, because the way we view things really does determine what happens in our lives. I've heard this amazing quote, just posted this on Instagram today, and I heard it from Marie Forleo. Fantastic. So 10% of what happens to you, wait, no, let me start again with this. So, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So, the way we're reacting and responding to this is not in our best, we're not in our best selves with this. I feel like, because when you're in your ego, it's almost like all your negative traits and the things that you have to constantly work on, because you know those are those traits that are just those, like your triggers when you're being triggered. I feel like we're being completely triggered right now and we're seeing the worst side of ourselves, and it's just really the way we're looking at it. And with this, because I'm seeing a lot of twos here as well, and this spiritual union could be with an external partner, could be a business partner, could be someone coming on. Maybe that's the situation that you're not looking at right. Maybe there's a partnership that's presented towards you and you want to take control of everything and not trust this person, and that could be what you're looking at backwards. Maybe this person can actually help you build your career, you know, take off half the load so you can expand your business. It could be something like that. But I'm really feeling like, because this feels very, very internal. I'm feeling very internal with this, and I think it's very personal. I think it's more to do with the relationship with yourself. And this is not a situation you've been wanting to face. I feel like this actual situation that's happened to you, it's really annoyed you because you thought you were better than you were, and you've been triggered again, and you're pissed off at yourself. And I think this is actually a re-lesson. You've had this lesson before, and I feel like you're learning it again, which is really weird. I feel like I just channeled that. I think that's why this one may be a little bit harder to shake with you, because it's a re-lesson. And I know this within myself. If I'm learning a lesson again, it hurts more. You get really angry at yourself because you're just like, God damn it, I know better than this. Why am I going through this again? Oh, freaking hell. Like, you get really angry at yourself, and you need to get past that, because it doesn't matter that you've had to learn the lesson again, because I feel like after this time, you really won't have to learn it again. And it's okay. And that's the thing. When we're learning these lessons, I see it as we were meant to learn that lesson again, because there is something that we didn't learn from the first time we went through it. There was more gold there that we needed to actually cultivate and learn from, that needed to happen. So don't think that just like, oh, I've gone off the path again, I've gone into old habits again, like blah, blah, blah. Like, we don't need that talk. It happened in the past. You can only get better from here. So it's okay if you're relearning this lesson. And if it is a new lesson, because you know, this message may not resonate with everyone, maybe it's the first lesson for you, but I'm getting a bit of frustration and anger from this as well. And I think that's why we're really hit into anxiety too, and really feeling a lot of warmth as well, a lot of warmth with this. We're very fiery at the moment. I feel like we could be having some tantrums too about this. But once we go through this, which I think I need to go here next with this card here. So we have to realize that we can only control so much of what happens. So maybe it's a release of control, because like that quote I just said, life is 10% what happens to you and 90%, you know, your reaction to it. So this 10% of the situation that's happened, even if you've had a helping hand in it, that situation was meant to come in your life and you didn't control that. But you can control how you actually react to the situation and how you extricate yourself from it. And you'll be stronger from it too. This could be letting go of a bad habit as well. Like, I feel like we're going into negative thinking again. We're going into the loop, which is like the crazy monkey mind, and you just constantly, your thoughts are on repeat and you drive yourself nuts with it. It could be you need to let go of that. It could be need to let go of an external situation. It could be a person, a job, could be moving house or something, letting go of an old apartment that, you know, that sucked and you didn't like. So there is this letting go thing, letting go of control, or any of the other things I just said, because whatever we're learning here, we need to let go of something. So it's not just we're learning a lesson and let's, you know, ride on our path. I feel like there's something we really need to kick from this and not go through this again. And it does require decision from you, but this decision really creates a lot of movement, because the bottom card here is accelerated motion, and it's saying that like delays are over, and it's there's something else with that too. The delays are over, and damn it, what is that again? Just give me a second. The delay is you're the delay in this. You're choosing to stay in this because, you know, it's harder to face the lesson. Like, you don't want to face if you've made a mistake again. And bear in mind, there are no mistakes. I hate that word. There are no mistakes. There are only lessons. The only time I would ever consider saying it's a mistake is if you're continually learning it. It's not just the second time, it's the third, it's the fourth, it's the fifth. You keep repeating the same pattern over and over again. And that, when you're getting into that loop, you know, a bit of, because I'm getting into all this life coaching thing as well, when you're in that loop, you're punishing yourself. And essentially, this is what you're doing here as well. You're punishing yourself in this energy. You're choosing to stay in this energy because you don't want to face the situation. And it takes a lot more courage to face the situation than to punish yourself. It's a really weird thing. When we punish ourselves, it's actually quite easy to do. And I don't really understand that with why we want to stay in that energy. But please, if you are doing this to yourself, stop it. Stop it right now. Completely flip your thoughts. If you have a negative thought, combat it with a positive one. I know it sounds silly, but it's something that I've been really doing myself, especially with moving to Canada, because I'm going through a lot of thoughts at the moment, because moving countries is not easy. And no matter how organized you are, you're going to go through those movement feels of it. And what I've been doing as well to really help me through this, and I think this could really help you guys too, is actually talking to your guides. And if you are struggling with something, speak to them out loud and ask them to help you, because this is a new tidbit of information that I've just recently learned. Your guides can't intervene unless you ask them to. They're not allowed to. It's actually like a block on there. So if you ask them to help you with something, like ask them here, ask them to help release the block that I'm currently going through, or release whatever that thought is, that person, that situation, releasing the control of it. Ask them to help you do this, and it really does help, and it's a very key thing to do in manifesting. And once you do, it's the number one magician card. You don't feel ready to do it, but you're ready. You're very ready to kick this and never live this again. And it's going to feel like a big breath of fresh air with this. There's two number ones here. This could be you falling in love with someone else. I feel like it's more to do with actually you, and it's actually to do with, because I feel like you have been punishing yourself. It's actually starting to like yourself again, because just like you're going to be proud of yourself. You're just like, I chose to leave it. I know I didn't deserve this anymore, and I left this situation behind, and I'm better for it. I've really learned the lesson now, and now I know within myself that I will not go through that again. And the Six of Water here, I feel like this is actually a past thing. This is actually a past habit that we've had in our lives. And I feel like this is something we've really been struggling with. And we all have those things. We all have those things that trigger that behavior. That it's just, we have some things within us that are just like, oh, that's really hard to kick. So I feel like this is actually, it could even be something from childhood. It could be if you were bullied as a kid, you know, because I was bullied myself as well. Whenever somebody treats me in a negative way, I immediately go, what did I do? Is this my fault? Because when you've been bullied, it's a very interesting and narcissistic thing, but you look to yourself first before you actually look towards the bully, and actually thinking, oh, it's a bully's fault. You go, well, oh, what did I do to actually cause that? So that could be the habit you're trying to kick, and that could have started from childhood. So knowing where this actual bad habit started within yourself is a very important thing to acknowledge, because you kind of have to forgive that there before you can forgive the here and now with whoever you're dealing with right now. So this is going to be very fast. Once we actually, yep. Oh, yep. Sorry, they're really speaking at the moment. So we got the heart chakra here. This does require healing in the heart with this, because this is very personal to you, and it's affecting you here in the chest. I could feel it with the anxiety, and it's been trapped in fear. You're trapped in the fear mode, but you will rejoice after this. It's just going to take you really standing your ground and actually standing up for yourself and saying, I don't deserve to live like this. I'm not going to punish myself anymore. I'm going to extricate myself from the situation and move on from it. This is a very personal battle you're dealing with right now, and they're the hardest ones I find too. But you are strong enough to do this, and this will create the union with yourself. This really will. This is going to take a while. Even though this is next week's reading, I feel like this is going to take you maybe a few weeks to beat this, because this did happen last week as well. Not to beat it, because you never have to beat something. It's just resolving it. You're resolving something within yourself at the moment. And it's a beautiful thing. After you've learned this lesson and resolved within yourself, you do feel like a new person. So I'm going to be very proud of you guys. I'm just going to send you lots of love and light at the moment with this, because this is a very difficult thing, and this is definitely for me too. I'm getting another, whoa, lots of heat tonight, guys. Very, very warm, no, but you know, he loves them. Stay with me, stay with me. But that's all I feel like I need to say. If you have any more questions about this, as this is quite personal, so if you were seeking some personal guidance for yourself with this, I do English, as you know, guys, my English goes. So I do, oh God, I said it again. I do personal readings over Skype or over on the phone. So if you are seeking one with a bit of clarification for you, or just a little bit of personal coaching for yourself, as well as I do that to help you work through this, I said it again, to help you work through the situation, I do personal readings. You can Instagram me, DM me on Instagram at tani.langshaw. You can even just comment below, and I can, you know, get in contact with you there as well, just whatever you prefer. And if you haven't, I'm gonna have to really edit this. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and share this video around, as well as I'd like to get my tarot readings out there and just to reach more people and help them, whoever needs to hear this as well. So thank you guys for sticking around to this end of this video. I know this is very tough, just hearing Tani just trying to close a tarot reading. But anyway, thank you so much again, and I'll see you next week.